Welcome, 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 folks. Welcome, welcome, folks. Let us know how you're receiving us. Let us know if you're receiving us loud and clear. Welcome to our international podcast, Below the Belt. It's Wednesday. We're dealing with a person of interest, good folks. We're dealing with a person of interest today, and our person is Ramnarace Reese Mahabir. You're going to find out in a little bit exactly who Mr. Ramnarace Reese Mahabir is. Alison Pearson, we see you there. Urban Don Cook, what's for lunch? Good people, what's for lunch today? Good to have each and every one of you. Person of interest. You know, some of you, some POIs, some people of interest. Good to have you, Donna McDonald. Isabella Butter says loud and clear. Good Anderson. Good to have you. Julian Mars and Tessa Lynn Eastman. Good to have you. Tessa gets spot and she gonna have the chef. Folks, please and thank you. Julian Mars, good to have you as well. I see Avril Goodman says loud and clear. Well, we're happy about that. We are supremely happy about that. Loud and clear. Yep. Ingrid Ambrose says she's having some fried rice. I have some cook up at this end, folks. One of the mostly beautiful, fantastic cook-ups I've had in my entire life. Folks, it's arguably the greatest cook-up in the world. How are you folks are doing? We got some sunshine here amidst rain, good people. And we hope that where you are, you well. The weather is treating you kindly. That is our hope. We can hope, can't we? Well, that is precisely good, folks. Precisely what we're doing. We're hoping They're telling us at our end in the national capital city of Georgetown in Guyana, where we're broadcasting live from. They're telling us it's 29 degrees outside. Yep, but it feels like 30. Yep, it feels like what it feels like. Good, but they're telling us, in addition to that, good folks, that there's a 50% chance it's going to rain. That's the news at the hour. There's a 50% chance it's going to rain, good folks. A 50% chance. We trust that you folks are great. We trust that you good folks are well. That lunch is going to do good to your body. Say a prayer, man. You done start eating. That lunch is going to be good to your bodies, good folks. Yep. And the weather's going to be kind to you. We hope that the sun, as they say, is always to your back and the road rises to meet you. We can hope, can't we, folks? 29 degrees outside the national capital city of Georgetown. A 50% chance is going to rain, folks. Why not walk with your umbrella? You're going to lunch? Walk with your umbrella. And Regina. Yep. Very overcast there. Looks like we're having some clear skies in Georgetown. And they're telling us the percentage of rain decreases. Well, believe it or not, the forecast has just been updated. And it's now forecasted that we're going to have there's rather 6% chance it's going to rain. But that was quick, fast, in a hurry. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Just tell me walk with the umbrella. Look, I say left at home. 6% chance it's going to rain. Right? Somebody's trying to call us at our end. Clearly, they're not watching the podcast. Clearly. Clearly, some folks don't watch the podcast. Clearly. But good to have each and every one of you. 29 degrees outside. They say it feels like 30 and a 6% chance. Keep your fingers crossed. That remains that way. But good to have you, Stephanie Person and Vanellis Helliger. Good to have Roxanne here with us. Roxanne Garraway, to be specific. Seymour George and Mayborn King. Guys, it's a privilege. Share the live and smash that emoji button. How are you good folks doing? How are you good folks doing? We trust that you guys are great. Believe it or not, guys, we've talked about this the entire morning program. Happy Teachers Day. Happy Teachers Day. Let us know a teacher that might have encouraged you, might have been a blessing to you, might have been good to you, stood out, impacted your life in some positive way. Shoot a name for us. We give you a teacher a quick shout out. Daphne Aaron, good to have you. Vanellis Illiger, Shirley Crichton, all the other folks. Happy Teachers Day. I don't teach not only the classroom. Not only the classroom, folks. And it's not only when we think about students, we think about, adolescents and so forth, teenagers. It's not only that. Right? I've taught some courses. Folks, y'all think I just drop out of the sky, Some of you think I just land. At one point in my life, I was teaching constitutional law, business law, English legal systems, English legal history. You think I just drop perhaps and land here? And I've been in classes with some older folks than I was. They are still pliable and wanted to improve themselves, and they came to those lectures at that institution. So don't only think little children and big people in that kind of a scenario. And sometimes it's not even a classroom, it's in society. Could be in your workplace. You're like a teacher to some people. Big people and, young people, you got to mold and you got to groom, you got to grow, you got to keep some folks on the straight and narrow. You're a teacher too. Happy Teachers Day. That's the point I want to make. Happy Teachers Day. Enid says her teacher was Mr. Vibert Yaw. The name looks familiar. Vibert Yaw. Right? To respect and manners. To a great teacher, Vibert Yaw. Happy Teachers Day, folks. Shirley Crichton is saying Happy Teachers Day to Miss Desiree. Had some good teachers. Respect and manners, Teacher Desiree. On behalf of Shirley Crichton. Irwin Don Cook remembers the late Miss Torrance Douglas from West Fermville Primary School. who she says was a real disciplinarian. Respect and manners to the family of the late Torrance Douglas. We've had some good teachers. Peterland Bishop from St. Gabriel's, right? Respect and manners there. And make sure I treat that. Yeah, Peterland Bishop, St. Gabriel's Primary. On behalf of Julian Elliott, respect and manners. Peterland Bishop. We've had some good teachers. We could give them a little shout out. Danny Ramnarace. Seymour George says, was my teacher. Respect and manners. Danny Ramnarace. Danny Ramnarace. I see Sue being mentioned. Sue Gate. Sue teaching people the wrong things. Sue teaching people the wrong things. Jean Williams says, I'm cruising today. Jean, like new vehicle, come here. Let me know. Let me know when we're taking a drive. Jeans are cruising or you're on a cruise line. Send us some photographs, man. Don't be so stingy. Ingrid King says, happy Teachers Day to all our teachers. Makila Andrews Coates. Plenty name, girl. Happy Teachers Day, Makila says. Alex Boom, we see you there. Even Ramasar, Beryl Crawford. Dorrit David. Happy Teachers Day. All the other beautiful folks joining us. Daphne Aaron. Is it Aaron? I always feel a little extra. Aaron. Vernell's Hilliger. Vernell says, happy Teachers Day to Miss Alexis and Sir Osafa from New Amsterdam. Respect and manners. Respect and manners. Miss Alexis and Sir Osafa from New Amsterdam. Yep. Cecile Ogle, good afternoon to you too. Good afternoon to all our below the belt viewers, listeners. Here's Linking says, happy Teachers Day to all teachers. Thanks for your service, dedication, and commitment to all the children of this country. I see Shirley Crichton says, Miss Lycan from CPC. Shirley Crichton says, Miss Lycan from CPE. Or is it Lucan? Right. From CPC, respect and manners, Miss Lucan. Respect and manners. And, Viola Steeliness raised an important point. We still got some good teachers. Very important point by Viola Steeliness. We still got some good teachers. That's what we're saying. Isabella Butters says, happy Teachers Day to Yvonne Joseph in Common Entrance class. Yep. A teacher in Common Entrance class, Isabella Butters, says, Yvonne Joseph, respect and manners. We've had some good teachers who kept us on the straight and narrow. Some didn't care, but some kept us on the straight and narrow and helped us to be the people who we are today. Believe it or not. Sometimes you have to get a good talking to. You're doing foolishness, you're doing stupidness. Pull your socks up. Catch yourself. Out front part says, Miss Box Hill was my aunt. May her soul rest in peace. Miss Box Hill. Respect and manners to Miss Box Hill. June Gilbert says, respect and manners to all the teachers of Allen's High School back in the days. June, do you know when I first wrote Common Entrance? That was my school. That was my school. Yep, Allen's High. That was my school. I ended up at Ishmael. I ended up at Ishmael. Claire Alexis, Charmley Richmond, Dawn Baines, Marilyn Larimer. Good to have you folks with us. Marlon Thomas, all the Marlins out today. All the Marlins out. Sheena Hazel, good to have you folks with us. Happy Teachers Day, folks. And a person of interest, today we're looking at Ramnarace, Reese Mahabir. Good to have each and every one of you. June is here. Ramnarace is a person of interest today. But before we get to Ramnarace, guys, I want to encourage you to help us to keep all our programs going live and direct. Help us to keep the programs going live and direct, good folks. Ensure that you partner with us. Every cent you go spreads out across these programs to keep us on there, getting to you the valid, credible information. You all know we are available via Cash App, Zelle, PayPal. We're available by MMG, MoneyGram, and Western Union as well, folks. Every donation helps to keep our programs going. Good folks, helps to keep our programs going. A lot is happening out there in the news today. Quite a few things we think that you guys ought to know about, should know about, need to know about. And then we're going to head into the POI, the POI, the person of interest. The person of interest. But we told you all before, them boys want to build oil refinery. They're telling us they want to produce about 30,000 barrels of oil per day with this modular oil refinery. That's what them boys telling us. Yep. Well, you all know them and big projects don't agree. You all know them and big projects do not agree. So we're watching that. We're watching that. And I told you last evening in our affiliate program, in the ring, all the big projects them boys have ever undertaken, they've been dealt with absolute failures. Not little failures, absolute failures. Now them boys want to build a modular oil refinery. Folks, what's for lunch? Got some cook up at my end. Got some swank too, believe it or not. Got some swank. This one got a little essence in it. You all know how we do it? You all know how we do it with the swank, folks? Yep, forgot to tell you that. The swank is delicious. You put a little essence in there. What is lemons good for? What are limes good for? What is the food nutrition or the nutritional value of limes? What do we get from it for? I know we got some bright, sharp people out there. Some 3,000 watt bulbs, LED out there. What lime good for? This swank here, though, hitting the spot, it's slapping real good. This swank is slapping, folks. Just the right amount of essence. A tinge of essence. A spot of essence. Makes a difference. Ingrid Austin and all the other folks, the boys want to build oil refinery. Well, y'all meet where we going. We meet where we going. That's what I'm telling you all. Gene Bond says vitamin C, an antioxidant. Yep, your fruits, good for antioxidants. You see, I tell you, sharp people, your vitamin C and your antioxidant. Folks, I know the taste is delish. What is the other? Is the extra benefits? Fair enough. I just know this swank is delish. Only thing this cook up missing is a piece of fried fish and a piece of fried plantain. But by itself, it cannot be topped. Right? The fried plantain and the fried fish only come as accessories. But it can't hold this cook up. This is the kind of cook up that's taking back to when your grandmother used to cook. But good to have you folks here. Some other things we're tracking, folks. Privileged to see Natasha Singh Lewis, our shadow minister of education, calling on the powers that be, calling on the authorities instead of 10. So, all this little money we got, they rent some buildings now. House our students until they can be properly accommodated in the school buildings that they've outgrown in numerous instances. Yep, pack away. Rent buildings, you know. They packed out in those classrooms to the overflowing. That's what I meant to say. They're packed up to the overflowing in those classrooms. Rent some buildings, there, man. Do something with yourself. It's part of what we're tracking, folks. Respect and manners to MP Natasha Singh Lewis, who joined us on the morning program. And also, interestingly, they're telling us, good folks, that Go Invest, G Invest, it has recently attained its quality management certificate. G-Invest, right? And I find this startling, right? I find it startling because it should mean, yeah, it should mean that less investors going in living rooms being led by Sue. It should mean that. Swank almost finished, folks. My little lime drink almost finished. It should mean less folks going to Pradoville too to meet with Sue, who gets all the support and handles all the agreement. When are we going to have that investigation of the installed vice president? His teachers must be so ashamed. So ashamed that none of the lessons stick. Like he just come through unaided. Unaided. But they're telling us, Go Invest is now business certified. Quality management certified, rather. So I guess the investors can go there now and not be diverted to other places. We can hope, can't we, folks? In addition to that, we've been made to understand Roxanne Garraway. We've been made to understand Paulette Hawkins, Louisa Wills, and Roxanne, that March 6th of 2023 could be the possible date for elections. March 6th. Yep. 2023. Get yourself set. They're telling us that could be the possible date. You know, I never see folks run from elections like these guys here. Never see folks run from elections like these boys. And finally, good people, as we heading to the big issue to discuss today, our person of interest, or POI. We're following up on this brutal, fatal beating of GTI student Samuel Granham. And they're telling us Laro is wanted in relation to that brutal beating that cost 19-year-old Samuel Granham his life. Laro, known as Karen Taylor, is wanted by the police. Laro is wanted by the police, folks. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Samuel Granham. Lost his life in such a brutal, tragic way. Folks, you know by now, if we ain't gone, we going. I think we gone, but some of you might be a different opinion. If we have nothing left, we going. If we left, we going. What else can we say? We not left, we going. Plain and simple. Thoughts and prayers to Samuel Granham's family. And we're told that they're overcome by grief, as can be expected. So if you lost your loved one and if you lose them in such a manner, it can take you a long time to overcome. Then when you see the police slothful, the authorities in general, it leaves much to be desired. I'm convinced now. Somebody's going to want better for me. Or else they'll make sure systems work. And for instance, the Ghana Police Force will ensure systems work, good folks. But this whole thing is Big Mama guy, you know. Pack a line, Big Mama guy. Elizabeth Narine says, Happy Teachers' Day to all my family who are teachers, especially Sir Jusani Europe. 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 And Elizabeth says, Hope prayer give you all a day off. Today's a day off indeed. So flesh and blood they reveal it to you. You're picking up some things in the spirit. Elizabeth, you're picking up some things in the spirit. Elizabeth says, Happy Teachers' Day to all my family members who are teachers, especially in Josani, Europe. As we make it special. Ah. Huh? I know the others gonna feel a little way, Elizabeth. The others gonna feel a little way. Wayne Liddell, we see you there. Hazelin King, we see you there as well. Folks, let me talk about Ramnarace, Reese, Mahabir. Let's turn our attention there. I need to switch cups because my swank has ended. The swank has ended. Bear with us, folks. And I got some cherry here. I'm making sure I full of my vitamin C and my antioxidants. Thanks for educating me there, folks. You see, I was not born to today in vain. Right? You get your antioxidants from fruits. And I think I'm told antioxidants is good for what? It's good for your skin. Come on, folks. Shines your boy. What antioxidants are good for? It's good for your skin. Hazelin King. Respect and manners to all our teachers out there. All, each and every one. Those of you who are viewing us and your teacher, take a bow. Please and thank you. Take a bow. Happy Teachers' Day, folks. We're not, but for some good teachers. You know, where would we have been? We've done gone through. Perhaps become a jagabat myself. Perhaps. Ramnarace, Reese, Mahabir, folks. You know, we always say that we want when folks go to the diaspora that you all represent us well. You know what I mean? You know the kind of way? Represent us well. Some folks don't feel so, though. Some folks don't feel so. And this one here can cause your toes to curl up a little bit. Your toes going to curl up a little bit. Folks, because recently, New York, I know this, but I know this. New York, the MTA, the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, fired Ramnarace, Reese, Mahabir. And we're picking up this from the New York Post, folks. The New York Post. US-based Guyanese Ramnarace, Reese, Mahabir, 67, was recently escorted out of the East New York bus depot by armed guards last Wednesday. Escorted out by armed guards. That's what Reese do, sir. US-based Guyanese Ramnarace, Reese, Mahabir, 67 years old. You got old for the rest. Hold. Share the live, the man. Smash the emoji button, the man. You know, somebody every day, they're singing a tune in my ears. And I just get up and doing it. Just get them and start doing it. But we'll tell you why. Reese Mahabir, Ramnarace, Reese Mahabir was escorted out of the East New York bus depot by armed guards last Wednesday. And to boot, good people, to boot, it was 2 days before he had planned to retire. 2 days before he had planned to retire in order to avoid punishment. And I want to thank Starbucks News for picking up on this issue as well. I saw a report out of their newspaper that we're following. In order to avoid punishment, 2 days before he was set to retire, them boys nabby. It's different with Uncle Sam, And as I engaged this report, I couldn't help but to think about the Jagabats and the Trench Crappos we got to deal with on this side of the Atlantic. I couldn't help to think about them. While I was eating my cook up, drinking my swank, with an eye on the cherry juice. I can tell you why. Uncle Sam is always watching, I want some of y'all to know that. And these people who talking about inclusivity and one Guyana and accountability and good governance, you better take a page out of Uncle Sam book. You better take a page out of Uncle Sam book. Elizabeth Narayan is telling us that, as an aside, antioxidants are good to fight against what is called free radicals, which fuels inflammation that contributes to most of the diseases like cancer and heart disease. You see, we got sharp people out there. Elizabeth, go to the front of the class now. Go to the front of the class, Elizabeth. Antioxidants are good to fight against what is called the free radicals, which fuels inflammation that contributes to most of the diseases like cancer and heart disease. You got to stock up on your antioxidants. Please and thank you. You got to stack up. But coming back to the subject at hand, and the person of interest, Hazelin King says things different in each country. And I agree with Hazelin. But principles don't change. Principles don't change. And you see this business we got here with friends, family, and favorites? That's unethical in any country. When only friends, family, and favorites getting favored, getting the contracts, getting the work. Friends, family, and favorites. 67 years old. Ramnarace Reese Mahabir was escorted by police. The reports are telling us. Out of the East New York bus depot by armed guards. Here is why. Ramnarace Reese Mahabir is our person of interest today. He's been cited by the MTA, the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, the Inspector General there, for arranging for work for his brother and nephew on MTA construction jobs. Here's a story. That sound a little familiar? Doesn't that song a little familiar to you? They got a minister's son. We're getting a lot of contracts with the ministry in Barbados. With the ministry, a lot of contracts. Friends and family. And this was in the public domain. Soon as Dharmlal come in, contracts were given by his ministry to his family business. That was in the news. He's still working there. But in the US of A, them boys got another standard. Mahabir was cited by the MTA Inspector General for arranging for work for his brother nephew on the MTA construction job. On MTA construction jobs. Hold on there, folks. Hold on. More to come. Hold on. Don't go nowhere yet. Here the folks telling us his nephew was hired by Rising Sun Construction in March 2021 to work as a site safety supervisor on a $14.6 million facade renovation at the East New York bus depot, despite not having the required qualifications for the role. Safety supervisor, despite not having the required qualifications for the role. And we can see how the safety supervisor issue will come back to bite us later on in the story. He wasn't qualified, but the uncle, Ramnarace Reese Mahabir, hired him on Uncle Sam work on this $14.6 million facade project. As a matter of fact, the uncle would have recommended he was hired by the construction company. Right? If you want the contract, you gotta give him a little something back. Hire my nephew for me. Right? Ramnarace, Reese Mahabir, his father, on the other hand, Ramnarace's father, on the other hand, worked for a different contractor. They tell us. Munpat Construction. Munpat Construction on several MTA bus construction projects, including a 3.9 million job to repair the roof of a Fresh Pond bus depot, sources said, according to the report. See, hired the nephew, he hired your father. Right? He hired his brother and his brother's son. And listen to this part now. Listen to this part. You know this story happened locally. Nothing didn't come out of it. Them boy with the anchor down with Reese. Them boy with the anchor down with Reese. You know nothing coming out of this locally. People are saying, flap y'all. Flap y'all. Let's vote for we. But listen to this. The report tells us that at no point did Reese Mahabir, a 34-year MTA veteran, he's worked with this company, the Metropolitan Transportation Authority. He has worked for the company for 34 years. You know the inside out. At no point, the report tells us, did Reese Mahabir reveal the conflicts of interest to his superiors, the investigation found. At no point did he tell them that contracts that he was giving out, his family members were being employed by those companies receiving the contracts. Conflict of interest. I hear a minister sitting in this installed regime got a conflict of interest in a company called Western Logistics. And while Ramps Logistics taking blows, it's nice time for Western. So the Americans got a problem with conflict of interest. But the PPP, these scallywags, transcrappers, and jagabats, no. This is promotion time. This is promotion time. They will anchor down with the Malik Reese and say, no. Reese, you's a good man. You's a good man, Reese. Look how you're looking out for your family. You's a good man. He ain't going nowhere. Right? And as them boys is telling me in the National Assembly, the PPP, oh, y'all will have y'all say, and we will have our way. Yeah. Reese ain't going no way. Just like how Jack Young gone away. Just like how Nigel Damalal, Mr. Dildo, he ain't gone away. Just like how incompetent Mansour Nadir ain't gone away. Just like how Kwame McCoy ain't gone away. Reese ain't going no place. You see? But them boys got different system. Them boys got different system up north. The folks said no time did he disclose the conflict of interest, that contracts that he was giving out to these companies, that the companies were employing his relatives, his brother and his nephew, all the family, friends, family, and favorites. 34 years. Reese Mahabir spent with this company 2 days before he set to retire. Them by Snabby. You got like the beauty of it, though. You got like the beauty of it. They're telling us the MTA officials. Remember I told you how the safety supervisor will come back to bite me. Listen to this now. The Metropolitan Transportation Authority officials only uncovered the family connections on April 29th of this year, when a contractor employee suffered a broken leg while on the work site where the nephew was employed as a safety supervisor. You remember that? The report tells us he was unqualified for it. Well, a man broke his foot on the job. And then the nephew, this quote-unquote unqualified safety supervisor, was uncovered. The nephew was actually charged, was in charge of safety, rather. The nephew was in charge of safety. He was in charge of safety. He ultimately resigned from the position in July, the nephew. You folks, the report says he was unqualified. And then listen to this, man. Listen how them boys different over, sir. Reese Mahabir's retirement party, scheduled for last Friday, was unceremoniously cancelled after his dramatic termination, according to an electronic invitation viewed by the New York Post, who put together this report. Respect and manners to the New York Post. And listen to this. Listen to this. Right? Why all of this corruption happening? While all of this corruptionism is occurring, folks, our person of interest, right? Hold a sec for me. I'm doing some maths behind here. I'm doing some maths quickly, because I'm about to call a figure. I don't think you're going to make it look thin. Right? Our person of interest, he earned last year from his job, from his legal job, Mahabir, Reese Mahabir, he earned last year 172,000 US. Legally, that's 34 million. Right? I just take 172,024 and I multiplied by 200. Happy International Teachers Day. I want to thank all the teachers who have been using calculator. $172,024. He earned $34,404,800 last year. 34 million Ghana dollars, that is, when you convert it. And yet Reese is a man big on friends, family, and favorites. And the report tells us that he worked in the capital construction division of the MTA bus division until 2020, when he was reassigned to the headquarters amid an authority-wide reorganization. Right? He worked in the capital construction division. He understands the business. Right? Or when Don Cook says, look how we going to lose all the retirement benefits. That is what the people were adamant you don't benefit from. You cannot earn off of ill-gotten gains. 2 days before your retirement, then buys Gawadi. Gawadi Reese, 2 days. 2 days before, then buys fetch Reese away. Right? 2 days before. So he worked with the Capital Construction Division of the MTA up until 2020 and was reassigned to the headquarters amid an authority-wide reorganization, according to the New York Post. And listen to this now. A source close to the investigation said that the longtime MTA official, right? A source close to the investigation said that a longtime MTA official's power, the longtime MTA official's power over the projects he oversaw would have made contractors reluctant to deny his family members jobs. Because of his influence, contractors would have felt compelled to hire the brother and hire the nephew. The MTA confirmed that Mahabir was removed from the authority's property on September 28th. They said he was escorted out by security 2 days before his retirement. And hear this now, because this is central. You got to get the policies. And we have one, a code of conduct for public officials. It is stated here in this report, the MTA does not tolerate actions that violate the all-agency code of ethics regarding public officers, right? Public officers law and the public trust. They do not tolerate actions that violate all-agency code of ethics, NYS public officers law, and the public trust. Right? A representative from the authority, the MTA, Michael Cortez, said in a statement. It says here that in the statement, this employee no longer is employed with the MTA. Wow. 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 What a finish to a career. Folks, Ramnarace think he was in Guyana. What a finish to a career. What a finish to a career. Folks, share the live. Smash that emoji. But do we actually have a code of ethics? Code of conduct? For public officials. Them boys don't read it. Much more enforce it. Code of who? Code of what? Don't come wrong with funny. This was gazetted on the 27th day of July 2017. Right? 27th day of July 2017. And it is made under the Integrity Commission Act. It's a code of conduct. And it says here, 10 principles of public life. I'm talking about what Guyana has. But you know, the people who violating this, the most. They ain't got time with this. 10 principles of public life. Accountability. A person in public life shall be accountable to the public for his or her decisions and actions, and shall submit himself or herself to scrutiny and criticism. And when you're doing this, them boys want to use the cybercrime legislation for bring you down. When you're trying to hold them accountable. That's principle 1. Principle 2 of this code of conduct, I'm talking about what operates in the 592. Dignity is principle 2. A person in public life shall, in the execution of his or her official functions, conduct himself or herself in a manner which engenders the respect of his or her peers and the public. Diligence. Number 3, a person in public life is expected to be effective, efficient, and reliable in the performance of his or her duties. Principle 3, duty. A person in public life owes a duty to the public and shall consider himself or herself servants of the people, not masters, not people who are howling down upon you. Honor. I think we had 5. Honor. Members of Parliament shall regard it as an honor to serve in the nation's highest legislative forum. I hear Nigerian name calling now. Members of Parliament shall regard it as an honor to serve in the nation's highest legislative forum. They have a moral responsibility to preserve the reputation of their office as members of Parliament. I hear Darmlal name calling here now. They ain't got no honor about them. Here Kwame name calling here, ain't got no honor about he. No honor at all. Loyalty is another principle. A person in public life shall display allegiance to the state. Not dual citizen. Hey, others name calling here now. Put a hand on the Bible in National Assembly and light this whole country. But respect her manners. To a teacher like the Chief Justice, Roxanne George, Wiltshire, Happy Teachers Day. She taught us, honest, she was lying. Right? Allegiance to the state and shall demonstrate concern for the well-being of the people of Guyana. Well, them boys don't care but we. They don't care but us. We side. Objectivity is another principle. Here's story here. Objectivity, a person in public life in executing business shall make decisions based on merit. When making public appointments, his friends and family favorites, merit. When making public appointments, awarding contracts, and recommending individuals for rewards or benefits, merit. Merit. I hear in Cares Engineering, Cares Construction, him calling here. I hear statement, investment, construction, name getting called here. Merit when making public appointments, awarding contracts, and recommending individuals for reward and benefits. Yep. Objectivity. A person in public life in executing public business. A person in public life in executing public business shall make decisions based on merit when making public appointments, awarding contracts, and recommending individuals for rewards and benefits. Responsibility, the penultimate principle. Right? A person in public life shall have a basic responsibility to take decisions solely in the national interest. Not only supporters' interest, in the national interest, not one-sided interest, not a cabal, in-store cabal interest, in the national interest. Without any benefit for personal gain or material benefit for himself or herself, his or her family, friends, and associates. And then the final one, folks, is transparency. Transparency. A person in public life shall exercise his or her public decisions and actions with full and frank disclosures and shall provide, when demanded by the public, an explanation for his or her actions and decisions. And all of this, it goes on to into some other areas, giving guidance regarding discrimination, giving guidance as regards accepting gifts, conflict of interest, use of official influence, handling of classified or proprietary information, use of public property, sexual misconduct, entertainment, use of office in an improper manner. And again, this was gazetted 27th of July 2017. Them boys fling this over the shoulder. The way Janet Jagan fling the courtyard over her shoulder. Fling that. Code of conduct, we don't need that. We don't need that. You will have your say, we will have our way. Flap you. A win is a win, installer otherwise. But the folks in the US and the folks at the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, they got different standard. And clearly they hold people accountable. And now instead of having we flag fly high, look, see? And I want y'all to note something. Some of y'all in the diaspora, who shame for let people know where you're from, who you be. Shame. I hope you know it. Ramnarace, Reese, Mahabir, work for the MTA for 34 years, and they still got these Guyanese. The point I want to make, some of y'all need to take your medication, they pay your medi. Take your medication and they pay your meditation. You hear some Americans you can't decipher. They ever came from these parts, you know. Oh, they twang. The accent more deep than the Americans. And more deep. Rest yourself. Humble. Humble Tate. Humble. 34 years. You see? They fling you out. He's a foreigner, you see? We be here, don't thief. It's them folks from Guyana. That's where I bring you from. 2 days before Ramnarace retirement, then I pelt you out. Out front parts, they pelt you out. 34 years. And basically, he's still outsider. You see these immigrants? Could you imagine we Caucasian brothers and sisters and say, you see these immigrants? We got struggling this immigration policy. We got we have to build a wall, folks. We have to build a wall and keep some people out. 2 days before retirement, 2 days. Isabella Butler says he lost all the pension by hiring his family and friends. What a bitter end to what could have been an otherwise illustrious career. Now you got to ask yourself the question in this 34 years, how much kickbacks, kick forwards, kick to the side you had? Philomena Fontenelle. You see story here? Oh, we can live our life. Since we come out of the cradle, we run to the States. Live all your life. At the end of the day, the final conclusion, the whole matter, they say, it's them Guyanese, it's them. But continue to do good, folks. We got a few people going to put you to shame every now and again. But continue to do your best. And remember, you're representing we outside there, We don't need one y'all there for the remittances. That's good. And we love it. Remember to send your donations and so on. Keep us going. Keep us moving forward. But keep our flag flying high. And proudly. And all those folks doing an honest job out there. Respect and manners. All the folks doing an honest job out there. Respect and manners. Respect and manners. Some of y'all say 124 US. Give it any day. I say straight. Me taking people thing. 34 million a year. 100 and something thousand US a year. Ramnarace had to be living nice. Ramnarace had to be living real good. Right? Living real good. You see the vices. I know some of them, you got here, the vices gripping them, it's friends, family, and favorites full time. Them boys ain't got time to friends, family, favorites full time. Not look the shame and the disgrace. You know the next Guyanese who went for work for the MTA is trouble. If you got the application in your hand, hold it a little bit, hold it. Oh, because I'm telling you, it's coming back on file. We've received your application, and we regret to inform you we have no vacancies at the moment. And your application has been placed on file. We will let you know sometime in the future if a space open up. Don't say nothing here. Take a little year, a little 2 year. Let us die down and come out of memory. If you got an application to the MTA, especially this one here, hold a little bit, especially this one in New York, hold a little bit. And to all the folks at the MTA who are Guyanese by heritage, you're Guyanese, and you're holding it up, and got to be flag flying high. Respect and manners. Respect and manners. Folks, that's going to do it for us at this end here. That's going to do it for us. Yvonne Ramasar and Rhonda Lane and Amanda Daniels, Wanda London, Dan Graves, and all the other beautiful, wonderful folks joining us. That's going to do it for us at this end, folks. Stay safe on the outside there. Watch the weather. Take your time. The school system already overflowing. Birth this team. Watch this weather. And ignore the inclinations in your bones. Ignore them. The school system is overflowing. Clean up Fraser. Nice to thing. Respect the manners, guys. That's our time. That's our program. Stay safe. Share the damn live. Smash the emoji button, guys, and partner with us as well. Partner with we.